Shout out to G-Man Boxing.
Alright people, so yesterday in review of the week, I kind of briefly touched on the fact that Joshua Buatsi is going to be fighting Maxim Vlasov. I want to talk more in depth about Dazn and how, in my opinion, looking at the upcoming cards they have, they are slowly but surely starting to improve, certainly on the Matchroom end. Now we need to bear this in mind. I do remember reading a rumour, it was a rumour, I don't know how true it is, it may turn out to be completely false, it may turn out to have some merit. But the rumour mill is that after this year, it will be Eddie Hearn and Matchroom on Dazn, no longer Golden Boy. Now again, I don't know how true that is, could have some merit to it, could fall by the wayside, I don't know. But Eddie Hearn had the moniker Game Changed. Alright, now it has to be said, some of the cards have been alright, the Liverpool card and the second week of Fight Camp. Some of them haven't been amazing. It's fair to say like that, showing the O2. But let's look at some of the other cards he has up and coming. Okay, let's look at this week's card. Will I do a separate video on it? Maybe. But if I wanted to do, I don't want to keep this video 20 minutes long. I'll have to preview every card. But this weekend's card, which is happening in Sheffield, has Kid Galahad, Craig Billum-Smith, Terry Harper, Raven Chapman, etc. It's not a bad card. It's not a card that's, jaw-dropping. But it's not a terrible card. Billum-Smith, Kid Galahad, Kiko Martinez. Some alright fights on it. So, it's a good little... That would be a proper, probably Sky Fight Night card. And I think that's the comparison people are doing with Dazn a lot. They're comparing it to Sky Fight Night. That, to me, would be a typical Sky Fight Night card. Maybe a little bit better than your average one. Maybe. But... to me, it's a kind of step in the right direction. The following week, there's only 4 fights announced, but it's a pretty good card. There was one fight on here that I'm not overly keen on, but we'll talk about that now in a sec. I'm going to struggle with this name. Akhmedov. I know the fighter. You all know the fighter I'm talking about. I just struggle with his name. He's fighting Ronnie Rios. That's a good little scrap. This is a very good fight here. Julio Cesar Martinez versus McWilliams Ario. Brilliant fight. McWilliams Ario has never been stopped. Has a bit of power. Has some good wins, but that's going to be interesting. Cesar Martinez is value for money. Kelly Reese versus Jessica Camara. It's a good little fight. Kelly Reese is a good little fighter. The winner of that will be face Chantel Cameron next, so that's a good little fight. The one fight, you're guessing where I'm going with this, by the way. Demetrius Andre, Jay Quigley. Oh boy, that's not a great fight. But as a card, that's not too bad. I wonder, because that's in New Hampshire, I wonder will they do that at a decent time? Because do you remember when Demetrius Andre fought Liam Williams? They done that at like 11 o'clock UK time, so it would have been about kind of 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock US time. I wonder would they do that? It's on the east coast of America, because New Hampshire is proper. I think there's New Hampshire, maybe I'm thinking of I'm thinking of Rhode Island, but I'm pretty sure New Hampshire's on the east coast as well. I was thinking of kind of way up that's Rhode Island I'm thinking of. But like that, it's a decent little card as well. Let's get closer to home. Let's get closer to the card that we have in December. This is the one I really want to talk about, because to me this is an excellent card. And it has fights that I am extremely surprised that we're getting, but very happy at the same time. Pleasantly surprised. Now, if this is going to be the quality moving forward of the Zone cards in the new year, I'm quite happy. Because this is an excellent card. It has me asking myself one question. If they can do a good card like this for Joshua or for Parker versus Chisora, why was the Dylan White card so weak? Now, my theory on the Dylan White card being quite weak, had he fought Otto Wallin, was that they were paying Dylan White and Otto Wallin a lot of money, and therefore they needed to make sure the undercard was short of talent to recoup some of the money. Now, I can't imagine people are going to be, running to buy this fight, especially considering the fact that it's not in London. Chisora is a bigger draw in London than he is in Manchester. Considering the fact that both these guys for their last fight got paid a couple of mil each, you'd imagine it's the same. I would have imagined the undercard would have been a lot less stacked than this, because I would have imagined that they would have had to try and, fork the money out evenly. But when I look at this undercard, I will do a little quick preview, because you never know, things can change. Jordan Thompson starting off the bill. I'm doing a preview well in advance, but I might do another one closer to the day. Jordan Thompson's looking entertaining. I think he's a big ticket seller as well, but he fought on that card a couple of weeks ago in the O2. Sandy Ryan continuing her pro career. David Nika, who's a New Zealand cruiserweight. He, I think, won bronze in Tokyo. He's also made. I also saw his fight. He fought on the undercard of Joseph Parker versus Junior Fa. I quite like him. He's very tall for the weight, very big cruiserweight. He's massive. He's about 6'6", massive. But he's looking good. I seen him as an amateur fight several times. I thought he would have done better at the Olympics, to be fair. I really did. I had him, maybe not for gold, but I thought he could have maybe broke into the silver category. I really did. He kind of was a bit of a letdown at the Olympics, but Rihanna Dixon's an excellent little fighter. If you've not seen Rihanna Dixon fight, she's more a kind of volume kind of puncher as opposed to being an out-and-out puncher. I don't think she's got the most pop there, but she actually stylistically is quite polished. She's trained with Anthony Crolla now, and keep an eye on Rihanna Dixon. She's lightweight. She's in the same division as Katie Taylor and Tasha Jonas, people like that. She actually spars with Tasha Jonas. Keep an eye on her. She's actually a good little fighter. Now we get to the big guns, and these are all 12 rounders. These are all very good fights. They're all competitive. I'm surprised they're all on the one card. I really am. Jack Cullen versus Emir Cooker. That's probably butchering the name, but that's for the vacant EBU super middleweight title. That's a good fight. Jack Cullen, the little lever's meat cleaver, dramatically improved. Do you know what he needed? That John Doherty win. I reckon that's maybe switched the screw on in his head. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but I think maybe that was the confidence builder he needed to have a domestic clash like that. And I think he was the underdog, if memory serves me correct, in that fight. To have that win, and win it in style, and come up off the canvas, it's helped him go on. Because most of us, I picked Yildirim to beat him. He completely shut Yildirim down. This is a guy who was beaten by Felix Cash several years ago. This is a guy who was stopped by Roy Sheehan in a round back in 2018 in a prize fighter tournament here in Ireland. He's really improved. I mean, bear in mind, right, he was beaten by Felix Cash at middleweight. He may pick up a European title at super middleweight. It's quite impressive. He's really improved, has Jack Cullen. Is this maybe a bridge too far? Do you know something? I really did think Yildirim was, and I think he might be okay in this fight. I've seen that other guy fight before. His name was just hard for me to pronounce. I reckon Cullen might have a chance there. I reckon he might. Zelfa Barrett versus Bruno Tamora. I'd like to know what happened with the Kiko Martinez rematch, because I wouldn't have minded seeing that fight. The guy he's fighting is durable, it has to be said. He's quite young, but Zelfa Barrett is a solid European level fighter at this stage, I think it's fair to say. Again, I would like to have seen the rematch with Kiko Martinez. Whether you believe he won the fight or not, the Kiko Martinez fight, you can't argue the scorecards were absolutely ludicrous. You can't deny that. I would like to see that scrap again, because I think that, well, saying that, he'll learn a lot from that. Because what Kiko Martinez did in that fight was he kind of showed the veteran skills that he has, and Zelfa Barrett bought everything he did. So whenever he was pressuring but not exerting himself, Zelfa Barrett was exerting himself. So he bought pretty much everything that Kiko Martinez did. So it'll be interesting to see if he takes on it from that into this fight. Carlos Gongora versus Lerone Richards. Wow. If it wasn't for the next fight, I would say that this is the most fight that surprised me. Lerone Richards is a good fighter, but Carlos Gongora is looking very good. I can't see him winning that fight. He could prove me wrong. Some people don't really, I think too much of Lerone Richards, because he's really not a puncher, and he's really not a puncher. He's more a boxer, but he still has some very good skills. And I think I don't think you just walk straight through him. He's not a one-punch knockout puncher. I don't think he ever will be, and I don't think he's one of them fighters who has deceivingly heavy hands. Maybe he doesn't have the knockouts, but he has a bit of pop there. I don't think he's like that. Just from the eye test, he doesn't appear to be that type of puncher. He appears to be more an out-and-out boxer with a bit of skill. Good speed, very good speed. But I just think that right there is a bridge too far with Carlos Gongora. I think he'll get beaten in that fight. For the IBO, I've seen a lot of people actually making memes about this, and it's like the winner of this fight has claimed to Canelo that he's not undisputed. You need the IBO. I think of the people who've held that title. I mean, you've had Eubank Jr. with his historical reign with the IBO. You had Daniel Giel fight Renald Quinlan. I think that was a vacant title. I mean, just to have your name etched amongst that history, it's quite remarkable. Carlos Gongora and Lerone Richards, I mean, they are going to be absolutely, they're part of history with the IBO. All jokes aside, it's a great fight, and one I wouldn't have expected to be on this undercard, it has to be said. The undercard for this is looking brilliant. And now the co-main event. It needs no introduction, but I'll give it one anyway. What a fight. Buatsi versus Vlasov. That is a proper pick'em fight. I've got Vlasov in that fight. I'm just going to say it now. I've got Maxim Vlasov. In my opinion, probably should be world champion right about now. So essentially what you're saying is, you're essentially taking Joshua Buatsi and you're putting him at world level. Because in my opinion, Vlasov is a world level fighter. And that's not even, that would main event at his own card. And it's not even the main event. We've got now Parker versus Chisora 2. It's not an amazing, the first fight didn't exactly catch fire. Maybe the second one will. I don't know, it might. I hope it does. I really hope it does. Because the first fight wasn't fun at all. But still, I mean, this card right here, if we get more, I'm not expecting every card in 2022 to have as much depth as that one does. I'm a realist at the end of the day. I'm not expecting domestic level fights on every card consistently is what I mean. You might get one, maybe two, but I'm not expecting 3 or 4 big fights on every card. But if we can get something close to that, then the Dazn are moving in the right direction. They are. Like I said, I don't have any affiliation with the Dazn. I'm not exactly happy that we're hearing rumours about pay-per-view. Certainly not for the Triple G Murata fight. Certainly not. But I do like the pay-per-view thing is kind of a downer. But I've said it once, I'll say it again. I like the style. I like what they're doing. And I really do hope it succeeds long term. I really, really do. And I like the fact that we have other platforms like Fight Zone, which I talked about the other day, which is only £4 a month. I thought it was dearer than that, to be honest with you. And they're showing the small hall shows. Now, me personally, I've always preferred the small hall shows as a fan. I go to them, when they were on here in Ireland, even though they were always crap. They were. But I would still go to them nonetheless. The ones in the UK definitely are a lot better. 100%. But I've always liked the small hall grassroots because you see some gems. You genuinely do. You see some absolutely cracking fights. There's no cameras. The only camera will be your phone. And it'll never see the light of day. You can only tell people about it. Whereas platforms like Fight Zone are showing you them. And again, Fight Zone, not paid, not doing it, just saying. It shows you that. There's entertainment at all levels. Entertainment's at grassroots level, small hall level, area level, etc. And you're just paying for what you want. I like all that. I like that. I like platforms that are launching up like that. And I hope that long may it continue and long may the Dazn continue, because I really hope that we do break away from pay subscriptions for everything, but all you want is boxing. No, I don't want fishing. I don't want rugby. I don't want tennis, etc., etc., etc. I want my boxing. Thank you. And that's what I'm getting. So I hope we can hope the Dazn improve in 2022. Whether the Golden Boys stay or not, I don't know. But that card there is giving me a little bit of optimism. It's a good way to end the year. And hopefully it's a start of bigger things in 2022. I'm optimistic. Now bear in mind, we know the world we live in is pretty messed up at the minute. That is obviously subject to change. But let's just say for now it's a great card. And I hope it stays that way. That's my thoughts on it. Let me know your thoughts with the Dazn and the improvements that I personally feel that they are slowly starting to make. There are going to be other things as well. As I said, commentary team, I've not warmed to, and I've said this before, I've not warmed to Costello at all. Don't think I think, as I said, he's a voice for radio, not TV or streaming apps, whatever you want to call it. Andy Lee is fine. Get some more presenters in and we're good to go. That's my thoughts on that. Let me know yours. Hope you liked it. If you could, smash the like, hit subscribe, notification bell, all that good stuff. Lads and lassies, I'll chat to you. Peace.